Hi YouTube family, my YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing installment, I believe, number 4, volume 5 of my Missing Persons and Unsolved Cases series. I do believe volume 5. This one I was nudged to do a while ago, but when I tuned in, it was not an easy thing to process. Okay, I'm going to be working on Summer Wells' case, right there. First, I'll tell you a little bit about who I am. I am not your everyday psychic. I am a master healer, divine guide, an ascension master. I have been doing a lot of work with different things, with the earth and such like that. And I am what they call a master healer. So again, not just your run-of-the-mill psychic. I trust in what I get and what I receive, and I usually do these a couple times before I put them out to you to make sure that I'm receiving the same thing more than once. So I always call on the creator of all that is, I call on the angels to help me, and I also call on the person that I'm trying to tune into, or that is missing or deceased. In this case, I do know she is deceased. It's Summer Wells, because when I call on her, she comes from the other side. Not to mention, when I first called on her, I saw her in passing. And there was no saving her, but it was too much to handle. So when I do call on them, I tend to help them process what happened to them. I will let you know that Summer Wells is still trying to process. She's still very much so a young little girl, and she is trying to process what happened to her. Because to her, it didn't make sense, and they lied to her. Okay, so I will get into a little bit about who she is and what happened to her. So Summer Wells was, okay, so again, when I channel these, I write them down. And again, I do it more than once to make sure, because I do get names and I get big things like that. And so I have to trust what I get, which I do, because I've been shown I'm accurate more times than once. At least what I am given is what is purposeful. I don't put my opinions in with them. I don't like to deviate from what I was given, because then it goes into territory where I may not get the right thing put out there. So what I give you is what was given to me. There is reason for that. With the kind of healer that I am, the kind of being that I am, usually what I put out, it makes it draw to the surface anyway. So I have full faith that everything that I do on here will eventually be solved. And that's the purpose for it. So I hold that in my heart. I ask that if you are new to these, please research all of my channel before you have a closed mind, right? Come with an open mind and an open heart, and just let things be the way they are, and let things unfold the way they're going to unfold. And generally speaking, I do give names and things like that in these, and so, you know, it's going to be great fun to watch them as they do unfold. And I keep being told by my guides and by spirit and everybody to trust my craft. So that's what I do. Again, I'm not just a regular psychic. I don't pull cards on these. I don't use spirit boxes. I literally call on the creator, the angels, and the person that I am tuning into. Summer does come forward. She comes forward. What's the best word? Let me try to see what word she wants me to use. Confused, startled. She feels betrayed, even though that's a big word. It's still a feeling that she has. So she's like totally heartbroken. And she wants you guys to know that she was a sweet little girl who never got to be the little girl that she is. So she felt almost like a Cinderella type story, even though she was still a little young to know what that was all the way. But it was like what she wants me to express. I'm getting chills as I'm saying this. First of all, she went missing on June 15th. So let me give you a little backstory. I'm like, hold on. she's processing. But she did go missing on June 15th of this year, 2021. She was with her mother. Her mother says she vanished out of the home, out of the basement, or something of that nature. I don't like to read about these on the news things. I don't like to research a lot. The only thing I want to know is the name, the date they went missing, and where they're from. Beyond that, everything I get is channeled. I keep my personal opinions out of it, because it's not about that. It's about what they want to have come forward in order for it to be brought to the surface. Okay, for them to process, for them to heal and ascend on the other side. So when she does step forward, she steps forward like tattered. She feels tattered. That's the best way I can describe it. She's a little shaken. She's still processing. as she was very young. She was only 5 years old. Well, she is growing up. I feel like mentally now she's closer to 7. But she was 5 years old when she went missing. On the other side, I feel like she's closer to 7. And that's the energy she's stepping forward with. So I will bring that forth. What she shows me is at first I kind of asked them about who they were. Like, well, who are you? What do you want me to share with the world? She is passed over. She is absolutely deceased. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And I think the investigators know that as well. And she's kind of shaking her head as such. However, she was a little girl where she wasn't allowed to be the girl that she wanted to be, and she keeps reiterating that. Like, so sorry. Every time I do these, I forgot to turn off my ringer. She keeps telling me that. It's like, I wanted to play with dolls and Barbies, and she wasn't allowed. The only time she was allowed to is when her mother had people over, or certain time frames where she was trying to be something she wasn't. And so that's what Summer is showing me, is like there were 2 mommies. At least 2 mommies, she would say. At least 2 mommies. And it would make her confused as to which one was going to be present at any given moment. Okay. So, that's what she shows. She's like, I wanted to be like a princess, and I was not allowed to be. She was supposed to be like the boys. Like, I feel like it was just a push to be very much so male. She just, anytime she expressed femininity, she would get, her words were treated like a dog. Those are Summer's words. She was treated like a dog. And when she said that, I kind of saw a collar and a leash put on her. Whether it was for sure, I don't know, but that's what she's showing me. She's showing me a vision of her mom having a collar and a leash on her. She was treated like a dog. So I'm going to get into kind of what happened from Summer's eyes, okay? And it's not all pleasant. I'll tell you that right now. So the first time I tuned in, I did see her in passing. There was no saving her. I had to back out, and I had to breathe, because it's a lot to process. That's how I roll. I process what happened to them with them. I help them heal and rise to where they need to rise to, and to process some of what happened to them. So for years, she had a rough life. This little girl did not have an easy life. Okay, she is showing me that her mother, Candace Bly, was extremely jealous of any female that stands in her way. She also said that she wished Summer wasn't born. She said too that she was delusional and did a lot of drugs. Mostly like pills, some alcohol, just different things. Some kind of like speed pills to the ones that make you really drowsy and tired. There were a lot of drugs, okay? So then it says Summer was always scared of what was next, because there were like 2 mommies. So one in front of people and one not in front of people. She wanted her to be like the boys. She wished Summer wasn't born, okay? She was delusional, so I wrote psychotic schizophrenic. She had some of those traits within her. Summer is still processing, doesn't want to see it all yet. So she doesn't want to see all of what happened to her yet. She's a little girl, okay? Sometimes it does take a little while for them to process what happened, especially when it's kind of like a betrayal. So she didn't die right away. It was about 2 weeks after she went missing. She didn't go missing. She was never missing. She doesn't like this, and I'm getting chills as I say it, and I want to cry because it's a big deal to her. Forgive me, I don't usually cry on these. This one was hard for me to tap into the first time around because it's new. And forgive me, I burp and stuff when I release as well. Give me a second, please. And I realize my microphone is down low, so I'm going to make sure you guys can hear me. Okay. So she's still processing. She doesn't want to see all of what happened to her. So when I do talk about it, I'm going to kind of let her kind of step aside and do her thing. Okay. But while she's with me, I'll tell you what she wants you to know. So again, it says she wanted girly things, was denied all the time unless she was in front of specific people and only sometimes. What she's also showing me, is that everybody was afraid of Candace. Okay, I do believe there was another missing persons thing in Candace's life, and I believe it was her sister. Because in here it says, everyone was afraid of Mom. She was a murderer, but not of people, of animals. So she frequently would murder animals. And then it also says knows what happened to her sister. So her mom knows what happened to her sister. And Candace's own mother is afraid of her as well. So this would be Summer's grandma. I'm like, what does this mean? Her mom is afraid of her too. So everybody was afraid of Candace. Dad had nothing to do with it. He really didn't. He's taken the brunt of it all, and he is actually dying inside. The mother is a major manipulator. And it was after the fact where she's like, cool, I can pin this on him. This is easy. What a prick, she would say. What a weak shit type of a feeling towards the dad. This is the mom to the dad. Because I feel like that was just an easy scapegoat for her. So when I asked specifically what happened to her, this is what Summer gave me. Betrayal, abuse, jealousy, murdered. She was murdered about 2 weeks after she went missing. Okay, there was a red truck. I believe it was a red truck. That's what I got. She didn't. Okay, so it's like all over the place. So again, when I channel these, it's like I just write down what they give me. And sometimes I write it all over the place. And she's still having a hard time processing. So it's very emotional and very raw. Okay, so I'm reading all of this. I'm like, where do I want to take you kind of slowly into what happened to her. So it was somewhat planned, okay? It was somewhat of like a opportunity plan. So like she had the idea of many times that she didn't want to deal with Summer. She wanted her gone. She was more of a nuisance because any female that got in the mom's way, she would get very upset, very jealous. And I feel like this also ties into her real life sister, the mother's real life sister. So, is she like to eliminate competition? And again, it says the mom knows what happened to her sister. Candace Bly knows what happened to her sister. Candace Bly also likes to kill animals. I don't think she's physically killed any people. Actually, that's absolutely not. She likes other people to deal with her problems. I don't. This isn't about the sister. This is about Summer. So that's as far as I'm going to go into that one. But again, everyone was afraid of her. Her own mother was afraid of Candace. The dad had nothing to do with it. Okay, he really did love his little girl. But again, his guilt, I guess, was in not sticking up for Summer in the times that he should have. He almost would let Candace treat her like a dog, like a little boy, and things like that. Because anytime any female presented as what she would depict as prettier or get more attention, it would really upset her. Summer Wells was beat, starved, raped. See, I'm still processing. So she's still processing. So now I'm processing for her. So the mom did find somebody. Like again, it was like an opportunity plan. It was a short plan, but it was out of opportunity. But it's not that she hadn't thought of this for a long time. because she wished she wasn't born. She was delusional, psychotic, and schizophrenic tendencies, and she's on a lot of drugs. So they could be drug induced, but I don't think so. I think these were tendencies she's always carried, Candace Bly. Because from the time she was younger, she was very jealous of like her own sister, any female that posed to be prettier than her in her eyes, or would steal the attention. I feel like it stemmed from her own abuse from her own father and things of that nature as a possibility. Okay. And again, Summer was always scared. She was always on guard. She was always wondering which mommy, she says, it's which mommy was going to be there today or at any given moment. And again, she's still processing, doesn't want to see it all yet. But she did die about 2 weeks after the abduction, is what they called it. Eliminated competition. The kid at the pond knew of the person, but it wasn't the one that did it. But I feel like he knew of this person. Mom has a way of being two different people when needed. Okay. So I'm just making sure I go over everything. I know I've got Summer telling me what she needs to tell me again, but I go over everything here. I do have a name, and I will tell you they are in the county east of the one they're at. So she went missing in a county from Hawkins County, Tennessee. She is in the county east over, one county over. Okay, that's where she's at. That's what I'm pointed to. In adjacent county to home east. So it's east of their home in the adjacent county, east of their home. She is, from what I'm showing, it's concrete. It's always been concrete. So when I first tuned into her, she was in a basement on a slab of concrete, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't save her. I couldn't touch her. Unfortunately, there was no ability to save her. And I get chills every time I say that. This is why these are hard for me to do sometimes. And that's why I got really upset the first time around that I couldn't do it. Because I'm like, why can't I save them? Like, now I hope I can bring her some justice. That's the point of these. Okay. But again, there are people who know of this person. The person that did it, it's not his first murder. That's what they have on here. He was a sexual predator named Frank Easton. And I said, and every time I said that, I got such chills. And I did it again today, and it was Frank Easton. And when that came out, it was like big time. Like Frank Easton, and he's in the county east of the one they're at. And she was starved to death. That's how she died. She was beat, starved, and raped. And it says she's buried underneath concrete in an adjacent county east of the home. And when I tuned in, she was in a basement with concrete as well. Forgive me. We're still processing this one. I do still feel concrete. Like, I feel like I'm just, like I'm just smothered. I can't breathe. It's a new slab of concrete that she's under. And I feel like she's in dirt. And then concrete. I can feel the cold concrete. Like, I don't like it. I can feel the cold concrete, and it hurts. It hurts to lay on. It hurts. It hurts really bad to lay on. Like, almost like bone to the concrete, and that's how it feels. And that's where she passed. But again, not until about 2 weeks after. She was starved to death and used, and then left to die. Frank Easton, and he's a sexual predator. I did actually look him up on the registry. He's not registered, but it says he's a sexual predator. I'm like, ooh, is he registered? And unless I looked it up wrong, I didn't find him as a registered sex offender. But he is a sexual predator, so I'm just making sure that's straight. Mom gave her to them, and so here's the thing, is Summer didn't want to go. Mom made her go and told her she would be back. So she told her she would be back. And I see red truck. And she's in the county east of the home. In adjacent county to the home, east is what I have. Okay, this is what they want you to know, so this is what I'm giving you. I don't put my opinions in them. They're hard enough for me to process. As you can tell, this one is still very new and very raw. She's still processing and doesn't want to see it all yet. And so I find it interesting when I see all these like spirit box people and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know. I don't know, you know? But she was treated like a dog. And when she says that, I do see like a leash and a collar. And so quite honestly, she's in a better place now. And I got chills when I said that. And she was in an eliminated competition. And the kid at Pond knew of person. And that's about what I have. This one's still very hard and very raw, and I still have a hard time wanting to put this one out there. And again, just I can keep repeating everything. I think I've gone over everything. I'm making sure I've got all the things because she's kind of in and out, because she's still processing all of this, obviously. But she does love her daddy, and that's her daddy. I think he does know now. I think he's processed a lot of things, and he's taken a brunt of a lot of things and a lot of abuse. And I don't know what's happening to him, but he is not the guilty party. If she did take any kind of test, it's because she was on drugs. So that's what I also see, as the mom does lots of drugs, from pills to just different kinds of things. And that's what I have. I thank her for coming to me today and bringing me all of this information. And I'm having a really hard time still processing it. So I'm going to end this one with what I've already given you. And I just hope she rests in peace. And she gets to grow beautifully on the other side. She wanted to be a star. That's what she said. She would have been an actress. Because to her, that was like pure freedom. She could be anything she wanted to be. And she would dream of that. She would like create little plays in her head at 5. And that was all she could dream of being. She didn't get to go further than that in her dreams or wishes. I thank her for being here today, and all of my guides. And I thank all of you for having an open mind and allowing this one to process through. So much love. May this little girl be blessed in a cornucopia of abundance on the other side, and play with lots of Barbies and dolls, and get to have pink hair because she wanted long pink hair. So much love to all of you. Thank you. Till next time.